Okay, welcome to Kojo's Math, and today we're talking about multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Now, multiplying fractions and mixed numbers is different from adding and subtracting fractions. And the sooner you just kind of memorize that, the better. So when you're adding and subtracting fractions, you must have a common denominator. When you add or subtract fractions, you must have a common denominator. Sometimes when you're adding and subtracting mixed numbers, when you're subtracting mixed numbers, sometimes you have to regroup to subtract the mixed numbers. To borrow, remember? But when we multiply fractions and mixed numbers, we do nothing extra at the beginning. We do nothing extra. We don't get a common denominator. We don't regroup and borrow. We just multiply the numerator times the numerator, and the denominator times the denominator, and then we simplify to lowest terms. So here we go. 7/8 times 3/4. We multiply numerator times numerator, and we get 21. And we multiply denominator times denominator, and we get 32. We check this. Is this simplified and in lowest terms? Yes. So that's our final answer. That's all we do when we multiply fractions. So given that, let's look at this. When we throw a whole number at you, it's not a mixed number, it's just a whole number. So when I do that, I have to rewrite the whole number over what fraction? How can I write 2 as a fraction? How can I write 2 as a fraction? 2 over 1. So I'm going to write 4/7 times 2 over 1. And I'm going to multiply numerator times numerator and get 8, and denominator times denominator and get 7. Now, if this is in simplest form, you can leave it like that. You can leave the fraction as an improper fraction as long as it's simplified and in lowest terms. You can change it to a mixed number, but it's no longer necessary like it was in elementary school where they said you had to change it. You don't have to change it. In fact, I would prefer if you left it as an improper fraction in lowest terms. Now, I want you to try these two. Okay, so stop the video and multiply 5/8 times 1/3 and 1/2 times 1/6/7. When you turn it back on, and we'll see how you do. Welcome back. Well, let's see. We're just going to do this together because we have to over and over. What do? Numerator times numerator. 5 times 1 is 5. Denominator times denominator. 8 times 3 is 24. Now we check it. Is it in simplest form? Yes. So we're done. And we go to the next one. What do? Numerator times numerator. Numerator times numerator, which is 6, 1 times 6, and denominator times denominator, which is 14. Uh-oh. Is that in simplest form? No. What goes into both 6 and 14? Use your divisibility rules. They're both even. 2. So this is going to simplify to 3/7. So this simplifies to 3/7, and that's our final answer. Now, over here, though, kind of got smudged when I set up my boards. When you have mixed numbers, first you change each mixed number to an improper fraction, then multiply. Isn't that what we did over here with the whole number? Yeah. So now, whenever we have mixed numbers, the first thing we do when we're multiplying or dividing is we change them to improper fractions. Now, we're not talking about division today, but we will in the next video. So we're going to change this to an improper fraction. Remember how to do it? We say the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. The whole number times the denominator plus the numerator. So 1 times 3 is 3, plus 1 is 4/3. So we change that to 4/3. And what is 2? We have to write that as an improper fraction. You have to write it as an improper fraction. It's not 2 over 2. 2 over 2 is 1. So we have to say 2 over 1, not 2 over 2, because doesn't represent 2. We write it as an improper fraction of 2 over 1. Now we multiply numerator times numerator, that's an 8, and denominator times denominator. So you get 8/3. And again, I'm trying to encourage you to leave it as an improper fraction as 8/3. You don't have to change it to a mixed number. You're in middle school now, and very rarely do you have to change it to a mixed number unless it's a word problem. So let's move on. Let's do this one together. Here we have 2 mixed numbers, and we have to change them to what first? Improper fractions. So we get 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7/2. And we get 2, and 2/3 becomes 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8/3. Now what do? Numerator times numerator, 7 times 8 is 56, and 2 times 3 is 6. We have to simplify that. What do you think it is? Use divisibility rules. Well, this doesn't add up to, this 5 and 6 is 11. That doesn't help us, but they are both what? Even. So they're divisible by 2. So 2 goes into 56 28 times, and 2 goes into 6 3 times, and that's my final answer. Now I want you to stop the video and try these 3. See if you get these right. So when you're done, start the video back and we'll check them. How'd you do? Welcome back. I hope you did great, because if you memorize the steps of just numerator times numerator over denominator times denominator and simplify, or if you have a mixed number, you change it into improper fractions and do the same thing. Let's see how you did. Well, for the first one, the improper fraction is 17/5 times 2/3. You get 13/15. You can leave it like this because this doesn't simplify, because 3 plus 4 is 7, and that's not a multiple of 3. Or you can change it to 2 and 4/15, but I'm encouraging you not to do that. It's not wrong. Then number 2, when we change these to improper fractions, you got 11/6 times 5/2, 55/12. That doesn't simplify. It looks like it should, but it doesn't. When you change it to a mixed number, it's 4 and 7/12. Did this look familiar? Yeah, that was the example we used earlier. But did you get it right? 21/32? Okay. Now, I expect you, remember, you have to do this. I expect you to write down 2 things you've learned at the bottom of your notes and 1 question. Don't tell me you can't think of a question, because you can. 2 things you learned and 1 question. And I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.